Greetings from Global Magic TV. My name is Daddy Esugo, and first of all, I would say if you've not subscribed to our channel, if this is your first time of seeing this channel anywhere here on YouTube, please go down and click the subscribe button. Subscribe and drop your comments on our videos, because we will be posting movies, all kinds of your delights and lovely films on this channel. So before I go into the business of the day, I will want to introduce Global Magic TV to you guys. Global Magic TV is a company, a movie production company based in the eastern part of Nigeria, and we do all kinds of movies. We do epic movies, we do glamour, we do contemporary movies, all the classes of films that you can think of. Just spare your taste and find us here on Global Magic TV. Okay, now I want to discuss something on filmmaking today, and filmmaking as a whole body is broad, so we'll be streamlining our discussion on few categories. So I'm doing this video because so many people have been asking so many questions. There are a lot of people that want to venture into the business. There are a lot of people who are interested in learning a lot about filmmaking, and so many people get it wrong when eventually they embark on the journey, and then on the long run they find out that there is something they didn't get right from the beginning, or there's something they did wrong during the production, and then the thing happened to maybe affect the production, affect the film, and then so there have been a lot of issues, there have been a lot of questions about filmmaking as a profession. So in essence of what we are discussing today, I want to talk about the processes involved in filmmaking. What are those things that you will do and you get your production right? What are those things that you do and your production, your film is going to be successful without any delay? Now, we will be going through these hints one after the other. So just follow me sequentially as we take you through this. I call it a pre-course on filmmaking. So if you get a script, for instance, and you have a project you want to carry on, what steps do you need to take so that at the end of the day you have a good shoot without any problem? So what are the factors that could make you have issues while shooting? What are the factors? I've seen a lot of people, when they go out to shoot, they encounter serious issues on the locations, and sometimes you go to a film set and it will seem as if the production wasn't prepared. Meanwhile, they've spent fortunes, preparing for the production. But on this juncture, we also like to highlight that it is not all about money when it comes to production. Money is just like a tool that will keep the production going, and then there are other tools that needs to be put in place for that production to be a success. So many people you will hear when they mention they spent 3 million, they spent how much, they spent 20 million on a particular production, and then at the end of it, what are they filming? That is it. So the first point I want to relate to filmmakers that speaks a lot and matters when it comes to film production is your script, which is your number one tool. Talking about script, what type of script do you want to shoot? You know, what type of feel, what type of audience do you want to communicate or tell your story to? This is what comes in play first when you want to go into a particular project. Now, for instance, if I want to film an epic movie, I want to film maybe a series, I want to film contemporary or glamour, any type of film I want to do, then the first thing I will do is get my script. Then, getting the script, what is your budget in this production? This one is another factor that will determine the type of script you want to get. So, what is my budget? Now, if for instance, I want to do a film and my budget is 2.5 million, my budget is 2 million and thereabouts, and then what I would do is look at the scripts I have in hand. Will this be able to carry out this script? And you have looked or checked yourself, and you find out that this is the only resources available for this production. Therefore, there is no need going for a cumbersome script that you will end up not finishing, or you will end up infusing more funds into when you know this is not your target at the moment. Now, considering your script, you consider your market. Where do I want to sell this film? How much is obtainable from this film? So, having checked all these things, and then you realize that, okay, for me to achieve this kind of film that I want to shoot, and okay, this is my fund. Therefore, I will look for a script that has maybe less cast. For instance, if it's a big project, you consider your cast. There, you might not even consider cast because you know you're planning big for it, and then but then what I am talking about is the class of films we see every day on our local televisions, African Magic, and the rest of it. So, first, because you wouldn't want to invest hundreds of millions in such production when you know recovering this kind of money from such film will be a very big, difficult task. Now, getting script, number one, I look at it. The script has 10 major characters, and say, for instance, minor characters of, for instance, 10 or 15. Then you will now find out that inside these 10 major characters, what you need to, make your product, which is your film, sellable, is getting stars who can sell the film in your target market. Now, you check if this person who can interpret this character in this script, who can interpret this character in this script, who can interpret. So when you now have your possible cast, then you are still considering fund. What comes in play is, all right, how much am I going to pay this person? How much? And then when you now do your calculation, your rough calculation, you find out that, okay, if I have 10 major characters and I'm bringing in 4 stars, I'm bringing in 4 stars into this movie, and then I am bringing in 6 faces, making it 10. How are you going to carry on? And then you check your stars, maybe the class of stars you're bringing to play this, maybe the least payment you could make there is say 300,000 or 500,000, and then you check for the 4, which means the money that you have for your entire production is gone, which means this script is not workable for you. This is one factor you consider. You don't just see it because the script is too sweet, you love the story, and then you embark on it without considering these factors. That is why so many people will go on set, they will film, when they shoot first day, second day, the third day they strike because of lack of planning. Now, this is bringing us to 3 steps. I call it 3 wide steps in filmmaking, which is 1, pre-production. That is the first class of production. And then we have the production proper. And then we have the post-production. So these whole 3 steps are very much important in filmmaking. Very, very. You can't do without any of this. Because if you do with production and post-production without pre-production, the production is going to suffer. And then if you do pre-production, of course, there's no how you're not going to do with production, which is the main shooting itself. And then, possibly if you do not do post-production, which means you've not completed the film. So these 3 steps works hand in hand when it comes to filmmaking. But so many people, for some reasons, have neglected the step 1, which is pre-production. And that is why you see a lot of flops every day in our home videos. Every day. Every day. Now, what are involved when it comes to pre-production? Pre-production, as I was explaining earlier, started from these preparations. It's simply preparation for your shoot. Simply preparation for your shoot. That is pre-production. That is when you get your script, read your script, do your casting, have a script conference. I'll come to that. Have a script conference, and then fix a date, and then you go into field for the production proper. So looking at this type of script that you're planning to shoot, now you've been able to know that your number of cast has a lot to play. So that means if at all you checked your script and then you find out that this script that has over 20 cast cannot work for you with your budget, and then you penned this script at the moment because you do not have the fund, do not start shooting or do not embark on shooting that script when you know your fund cannot carry it. That is what point number 1. Then, having discovered, okay, I have a script that my budget can carry. Let's say because it's a low budget and your total cast is 7, for instance. There are movies you watch, total characters 5, 4. So it's not that big. And then you now look at it, okay, I have the fund to do this project. Okay, then what type of script is that? Where is your target market? That is when you now consider the content of the script. Now we are done with the possibility of the script, if it's shootable or not, if you can be able to achieve it with your fund or not. That is the budget of the script. Now we're not now talking about the content of the script. You know, content of the script. First, one thing is, this story, is it believable? Is it it's not about on putting on camera and then people walk in the camera, say all types of jargons, and then you say you've done a film. Now, what is the message in that film? One, what are you trying to inculcate? That is it. Then, what is your target audience? Now, when you now have your target audience, which is you know, okay, saying, for instance, here in Nigeria, we have a few television stations. We have Rock TV, we have African Magic Epic, we have African Magic Urban, we have African Magic Showcase, the rest of them. We have even internet TVs like Ibaka. We have Ebony TV. We have Konga. All these markets. Now, if having looked at this story, if I'm trying to sell this script, for instance, to African Magic Showcase, now I am considering a lot of things. What type of story do people who watch this station love watching? So that when they start airing the film, you know, they won't flag it down. People won't turn off their TV because of this is not the type of film they want. And then the company itself, will they be able to accept to play this type of film on this channel? This is so you now look at the technicality part of it. What do they want in this channel? That is your target market. First of all, you have ascertained that your budget can work, and then now you are not considering the content of the script. The screenplay. For instance, so many people do not know that when you shoot for showcase and you show roads that are bad, you show dirty environment, you show bushes, it is not sellable in that channel, so they cannot air it. Obviously, they cannot buy it. So, when you look at this, what is the content of the script? Does it contain these things? You know? And having checked very well that yes, my script can fly. You know, all these problems are not found in my script. So, it can fly. Now, the next thing, we're still on pre-production. The next thing you consider is who can sell this film for me, because you know no one wants to do a business that will fail. Even them that own the channel, they want to air films that their audience can comfortably watch. So and so many people will always want you to, okay, give me the film that this so artist is featured in. This is what people want, and then they are doing their business. So they will also consider and say, all right, the content you're giving us, who is in this content? That is the quality of the content. And now, having considered and say, okay, this person, can he fly on this? Can he walk on this? And then you are certain and say, okay, if I use Tonto, if I use Nancy Sime here, if I use this, then you know it can fly. And then Remember we talked about your budget, so which will still influence your casting. And then you cast like someone who knows his onion. Because if you make a mistake in casting, like casting wrongly is the worst thing that can happen to any story. Because you feel this person is a face or a star, and then you look at the character when you know too well that this person cannot interpret this character, and then you give it to the person because you feel the person is a star and then the person is sellable for that content. My dear, that is another error that you can make. So what you need to do is consider, after considering will this person be able to sell this film? Yes. Then what is his capacity? What is the acting level of this person? How can he carry out this role? How can he carry out this character? Will he be able to give it life or kill the character? You get it. Now, having checked all these ones, now you can say, all right, this person is fit for this character. This person is fit for this character. That is good pre-production. And now you have finished your casting. Right? Then you now come down to your crew selection. We don't select crew based on sentiment. We don't select crew based on friendship. No. If I cannot do this thing and I am called to do it, that means the person that called me is risking this job, one, and then me accepting is killing my career. That is it. So one thing you do is you consider professionally, is this person sound? So many people are still learning words. So many people they've been outdated. You get it? And then you don't work by assumption. Now you know, okay, this person can do this person can do that, and then you make your proper selection. And having made your proper selection, you have series, I repeat this, series of script conference before shoot. You don't have script conference once. No, you have series of script conference. In a sense that every of your crew members need to be in the same page and know what you are trying to achieve. You know, the way we do films in Nigeria these days, most times, like people who are in a rush to get to somewhere. That's why if you watch most of all those films, it tells on the film. Now, if I call a script conference and then before then I know everybody must have gone through my script and read it, jot down everything, and then bring it to table. Now, bringing it to table, I mean, is on your script conference, everyone will have to contribute based on departments. You call the lighting department, you've gone through the script. What are your challenges? Is there anything you feel we should fix before going to set? Now, your light person will tell you his challenges. All right, for me to get this picture right, I need so types of lights. I need this. Okay, noted. Then this particular scene, look at what the writer wrote, and if I think this will be too difficult for us to achieve. But if we bend it like this, we will still achieve the same result. And then with what we have, we can have a good picture. And then you note it. Then you hear from the costumier. And then you ask questions among yourself. Okay, costume. So saying. The writer said so thing. And then what do you intend doing with your costumes on this set? Because now you should be able to know your sets. Where you don't just come early morning when you are going to set and then you bring up a location, and then the location will say okay, because so many people do it. You will be preparing for a shoot, or you don't know where you are shooting. You don't know how the location looks like. None of your crew, the DOP do not know. The light person do not know. Sound do not know. And then you already fix a date, and then on that day, you just get there. And then maybe early morning when everyone is set to go to location, you now call location person. Please, where are we going for this? Where? And then the location will carry you. You go, you shoot. What are you shooting? What are you shooting? In pre-production, you are supposed to know this is where this Okeke's house is. This is the house. Now, this is the picture of the house. Everyone knows the picture. And then in this place, there is a cushion here. Even your props knows. And then this place, there is a table here. Then your DOP knows, everybody knows. And then if Okeke walks in from this door, from your picture, then if he stands or sits at this spot, where will the light be positioned? Does the color combination of the place, does this suit the costume available for this particular scene? Because your costumier should know all these things, the costume that everyone is going to wear, how everyone is going to look from the script before going to show it during shooting. So now, knowing all these things, then you have the first script conference where everyone airs his or her own problem and said, okay, this is where I am going to have issues. This is where I'm going to have problems. And then you go out trying to find solutions, make available all those things, and then come back for a second script conference where everyone must be available. Having known these possible challenges you may face during shoot, you go out, sort them. If your crew members, which happens to be your technical team, your DOP, your sound person, your lights, and your props person comes and tells you and say, please, this house, the sound may tell you this house compresses sound. This house, there are echo marks around the house. We cannot get the best of audio with the equipment we are working with. And then the light person tells you that this paint in this house absorbs light. So for me to be able to achieve this, I need so amount of light. And then tell you, okay, the paint here reflects light. There are a lot of windows, like where are we going to stand light so camera will not be able to capture them. And then you note it down. Your DOP will tell you, okay, this place is not spacious. We do not have space for camera movement, and angles may be stage managed. And then you consider all this and say, okay, we make another provision. Then you know that you go out and cancel that location, get a different location, involve your team, they check it, and then when everyone is okay and perfect, we can work with this, and it's fine. And then you come again on your second script conference when most of the problems must have been solved. And then if your costume, for instance, is sewing clothes for different characters and all that, then you should know how long. You should be able to know the colors, what you are expecting in every scene. When you know all these things, then you know you are getting there. What are the challenges with your equipment? You verify. It is not by we've used Okonkwo's equipment before. Then you call Okonkwo, please, is your camera available on so day? And then Okonkwo will say, okay, yes. And then you make payments without proper check on it, because you know that equipment goes to work every day, almost every day. And then there are maybe challenges, one or two. People may have spoiled one or two things, and then they will give you the equipment without proper check. And then when you get to location, then for shoot, you will start having challenges. They tell you that the card is not showing. They tell you that this one is bad. They tell you the battery is down. All these things are the things that can kill your time during shoot, which should be tackled during pre-production. Then, after all these arrangements, you have them handy. Everything set. That is when you can now possibly say, okay, we are good to go. And then you are set. You embark on the journey of shooting. On arriving to shoot, there are productions you go, and everything is just verbal. Everything is just verbal. No written agreement, no nothing. So therefore, every of your crew, your artists should have a form, because already you know that this script will take me 1 week to shoot, which is 7 days, and you're already planning for 7 days, but then you still add additional 1 day in case of if anything goes wrong, because you can't neglect that fact. And then this is what we call proper planning. And then you now communicate to your artist and say, since we are starting this on this date, hope you are available on this date to this date. And then if the person is available, you're shooting for 8 days, although you plan for shooting 7 days, and then you're telling them 8 days, because in case if you have any challenge at all, that means the days will not be your problem. So having done all these things, and then everyone is in agreement, even when your artist is a bit fast, send them email so that you have a concrete agreement. It is always best having a written and duly signed agreement with your cast and crew before you start disbursing payment. And then once you have an agreement, everyone signs, everyone acknowledges the agreement you have, and then so time the film is due. Do you understand it? And then most productions makes another error, which is you are casting for the character of Mary, for instance. You have your first option, you have your second option, you have your third option. All these options, will sell the film for you. You have these options. Then you call option 1. Option 1 tells you, okay, I am not available on this your date, and I am available from so date. And then you start, because you want option 1 to be the person playing this, and then you start negotiating wrongly with them by telling them, please, even if it's 2 days I have you on my set, please, can you come in on the third day, and then if I can shoot you on third day and fourth day, so you go. This has kept a lot of projects hanging, and then the person being in need of that cash will agree, and then you make payment. Do you know the implication? That person may go to that sect he once told you that, please, I'm not available, so because of that production, the person may go to that production, and they have a challenge already. He has planned in his mind, or he has also discussed with them and said, okay, you're filming me 2 days, and then they run out of time, and then they have to finish shoot. Yes, they have to finish because they have already started, and then they started pleading, please give us one more day today, please, let's finish you tomorrow. And then this person has already told you, I am coming to your set that tomorrow. This person will not leave that set, and then you'll find out that you have wasted one day in your shoot. That is why when you are casting, you have your option 1, you have your option 2, you have your option 3. If you call option 1 tells you, okay, I am free, fine, you work with. If your option tells you, please, I am free from so date, can you start shoot? I will join you on the second day. No, sir. It's even better I say, okay, I am no longer starting on that first day, I am starting on this third day, which means you will enter that day you said you will enter, which is you meant to be my second day of shoot. So now I am telling you I'm no longer shooting, I'm waiting. Then you now enter first and now start shoot tomorrow. It's even better than you going to set, and then because someone has given you assurance that I will finish with these people, I will join you tomorrow, and you're already shooting. Then what if you go into set and then no, and then that means if there are situations when the person will even disappoint totally, and then you start having problems here and there, and you start making calls, you start trying option 2, option 3, something that you would have done since and you're free of mind. Then someone will start telling you, please, there are times these options will even disappoint you. You will call all of them, you find out they are busy, and then what do? You strike and you go, which is lack of proper planning. So that error, if you are able to cut it before production, then you will find out that you have a successful production. Don't forget, you are still watching Global Magic TV, and you will enjoy a lot of films from this our channel. Now, going back to what we are discussing, we've talked about pre-production, and we are on production proper. Then, and you can't ever leave the fact that there are atmospheric challenges that may come up, which can as well delay your production. That is why when you're planning for 6 days shoots, you add 1 day addition or 2 days addition in your calculations, so that it will not be as if you did not plan it. Now, once you are shooting, and for instance during the rainy season, you did not plan for rain to come, your target is to achieve 15 scenes today, or to achieve 10 scenes, and it started raining in the morning, and then before it stops raining, you look at your time and it's already 2, it's already 3, and then the weather is still dull, you're still maybe waiting for a while so that the weather will clear, and then before you start shoot it's already 3. One day is off. That's fact, you cannot deny it. You know that you can't do anything. And then you are shooting, even though it happens even in interiors. You know, most people will tell you what I'm shooting is interior. So even if there is, that's a blatant lie. Because even when you are shooting interior and it starts raining, the sound can never be okay. And then you will have to pause. So these are the considerations you make. And then, even if it's sun, there are scenes that you cannot shoot under the sun, be it whatever is the case. There are scenes you cannot shoot under the sun. And then, you know, if all these things were not taken into consideration, when the maybe your DOP tells you, please, I can't shoot this scene here, or I can't shoot this scene. You know, so many people will, please shoot it like that. Please, like I've seen where these things are the problems every day on set, and then it will look as if this person is trying to delay your work. The person is not delaying your work. The person is trying to give you a good job, and then the person is not only trying to give you a good job, the person is trying to help you recover whatever thing you're spending on the production. Do you understand? And the person is also protecting his own image. So these things, people always say, like for instance, some sound persons, no matter how you pressure them, they cannot shoot if the sound is bad. And then some people will tag them, they are delaying you, this one. Then there are other people who will always tell you, cut down the sound, without knowing that even when you cut down that sound, you're cutting it down because you're bringing your capture level down, and then it is still capturing it down. So when you still go to the studio, you still have to boost your audio to get that proper level that is supposed to be. And when you boost it, that sound is also coming up. So that's why most times there are no shortcut to these things. If it is not good, it is not good. If you're filming and you have most of all these challenges on set, that is why you need to prepare against them on time. By what? Having extra days added to your budget. So when you encounter these things, you don't need to rush. Filmmaking is not something you do and you do it in a hurry. This is something that is going to stand the test of time. And they say whatever needs to be done properly and accurately. So if you rush, and because you want to achieve 50 scenes in the whole day, because you are running so that you can meet up with time, and maybe you've told an artist that you're leaving my set in 2 days, and then when you know this person has over 40 scenes to play, and then your budget is to shoot 20 scenes today and shoot 20 scenes tomorrow, then the person will leave without considering the type of film you're shooting, without considering where are the locations. Are there scattered locations? Are they in one place? Because if you have scattered location, you will have to drive from one location to the other. Maybe you come here, you shoot 2 scenes, then you take another 2 hours or 3 hours driving from this same location to another location where you're going to take another 4 scenes. When you check all these things, and then you will now start running helter skelter. This is why our producers, most times you see them, they keep slimming down every day because of lack of planning. All these things, if you put them into consideration, my dear, your production will stand its best for that project to be a success. Okay, now let's say your preparations are accurate, your preparations are nice, awesome, and then your artist, everyone is cool on set with the time. Because personally, I do not tell artists I am shooting you 2 days. I do not tell artists I am shooting you 4 days. I am telling you, please, this is the number of days this production will last. Which means we are shooting for 1 week, we are shooting for 12 days. If you do not have time, the person may tell you, okay, please, what I have is just 15 cents. I know you can finish 15 cents in 2 days or in a day itself. So why telling me, my dear, I am shooting for so number of days? Why? Because what if you say 15 cents and then the production manager comes today and gives you shooting schedule and say we are shooting in a Ekene's house, and then this artist you've already told 2 days has only 1 scene to play in Ekene's house, maybe because of the availability of the location or some other things. Then the PM has decided today we are shooting in this place, and then this person you're already telling this thing has only 1 scene, and the person comes to Ekene's house, shoot 1 scene, and you cannot pay for the location and shoot only 1 scene and leave so that this person will go. No, because that means you are foolish to be doing that. So what you do is, because you have come today and you have 20 scenes in Ekene's house, and then this person has only 1 scene, this person will do 1 scene and still go and wait. You continue with the other scenes, and then okay, tomorrow maybe the artist in question, because you said 2 days, has already collected money somewhere and told the person I am finishing I just have 2 days, and then the person will come to you at the end of the product, on the end of the day, please, I have done only 1 scene out of 15 scenes. And then you will start cracking your head, and then maybe you start pressuring the PM, why did this one do? All these things are problems you bring on your head. This is why if you're shooting 10 days, everyone that is part of the production should know this is 10 days shoot. So if at all you come and then, thanks be to God, you shoot the 15 scenes in 2 days, in 1 day, the person goes without spelling it out. The person goes. You find out that the person will be happy, but not you telling the person 2 days and then the person comes and at the end of the day the person spent 15 or let's say 10 days, 7 days for shooting 15 scenes. The person will be grumbling. If you even see why they are acting, it will show on their face. The person will be shouting. You will be under pressure because someone has to leave. Now, these are the challenges you can see while you're shooting. After shooting, you now go for post-production. Now, post-production is the most important. All these steps are very much important. The post-production is extremely important in a sense that whatever you shoot could come out well, it could go bad during post-production. This is what you should know. So if proper care is not taken, so many people, I'll tell you categorically, I've met people who are producers. They will tell you, they will spend money at the cost of the production. They will spend money, pay artists. They will bring in artists that they will pay 500,000, 600,000. They will pay 800, 1 million, and all that. They spend such amount of money. Then, when it gets to post-production, they will now look for an editor who will collect 2,000 or 5,000 to edit the job for them, and then they will think they are cutting down costs. You are not cutting down any cost, because There are so many people who knows what they are doing, and most of all these people must have spent fortune, and then, you know, to come to that level, and then they have a price tag, and then you start comparing them with someone who is just trying to catch up, and then this person will give you a normal lay editing. Because if you find out why these people are always different, the technicality is not the same. Yes, a lot of people can cut film, pa 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 pa, they put it, but then there are details you need to pay attention to if you are a good filmmaker. When you give a good editor your film, good editing starts from cutting. You don't just cut film haphazardly. You don't just cut film because you want to assemble clips together. No. What are you trying to tell about the story? This one will initiate your mental stability and your mental balance in cutting. Because if the director may have shot maybe on a scene, you have your master shots, you have your maybe your CUs, and then just cutting short or cutaways. Then because the editor is someone who is just I want to do 20 films, and then he's just cutting pam pam pam. He will not pay attention. He will not know what the scene, the situation of the scene, what is the message of that scene. He will just cut shots and assemble for you. Because a good editor will calm down, watch that scene. That is why your editor should have read the script and should have the script even before shooting. And then he knows this particular scene, and now he looked at the shots you give to him to work with, and then he said, okay, instead of, because this person did this person did this, okay, if I start this shot with master, I will be exposing this, I will be exposing that. It is better I start hearing this person's line, showing this thing, and then, you know, he's trying to build tension in that scene. He's trying to modulate the scene and then give it a touch. And then he takes his time, he studies the scene, he cuts the scene. While someone is there without looking at it, he just brought out the clips, papa, he bring it, he put, and then tomorrow you are clapping, you have a film. These are the things you consider. And then the major problems we have in Nollywood when it comes to film production, so many producers, we give an editor film, and then you expect the editor to give you the best touch in a week or 2 weeks, and then the editor, because possibly the editor wants the money, he will tell you, okay, I will do it, and then the person will do rush and speed up and do everything and give you. And then you go out to the market, you start facing all kinds of things. Even if you succeed most times selling that, and then people are watching the film, they are complaining from their homes, which is your audience. They don't like the film, this one, that one. The story may be fine, it may be shot properly, but because you wanted everything done haphazardly. You know, so many people do not know what steps is required at the course of post-production. Because the editor will take his time, synchronize your audios, depending on how many days you shoot, depending on the weight of the clip you give him, depending on how many clips you give him, then it will take time. He will now run the synchronization. Then after synchronizing, he will then come and arrange his clips scene by scene, and now he's trying to group all of them. All these things takes time, and before you know it, maybe days are gone, a week is gone, and then he starts cutting. Then before cutting, he will start previewing his shot, or sometimes maybe when synchronizing or sorting, he's previewing the shot, and then that takes him a longer time, and then he's done doing all this, and then he starts cutting. Then after cutting, cutting is not only the thing you do in editing. After cutting, and then he sequences it with your director. So many people, some directors don't know where studios are, and it's very, very appalling, because a director should always work hand in hand with editor. There are times the editor will need something, he will need, not even the producer, he will need to communicate directly to the director and say, D, okay, look at this, look at, because this thing, filmmaking is a teamwork. Then, because maybe you are after, please send me trailer, please, when is it ready, when, and then the person responding to your pressure will always rush and do all these things and neglect so many things, and then the person is rushing to achieve these things. And then once sequence, another thing good editors pay attention to is your scoring. You know, basically, editors are not supposed to score films, but because here in Nollywood, an editor is assumed to have studied and know all these things, and then he do it. Then now your editor, because originally after editing, sequencing, the person, sound score person will come, watch, and then start scoring to interpret mood, each mood in each scene with sounds. And then it's not something, you know, I laugh when some people will come and say you can score a particular film, a 2 hours film, 3 hours film for one day. Why? How? Where are you rushing to? Do you know moods comes when you're scoring film, and then you're looking at the story, you're looking at the mood of the scene, you're looking at, and then you're putting your feelings inside. Personally, there are times when I want to score a particular film, I open the project, I look at it, I cannot find myself being in the mood of that particular film. I will close it down, I cannot score that day. There are times I may not be in the right frame of mind to do the scoring, I cannot score that day. And then you start seeing the producer pressuring you, and then if you start doing it that mood, it's not as if you will not put sound. You will put sounds, and they will hear it, they will watch it, but what are you interpreting? What are you interpreting? So these things are the things we consider when it comes to post-production. You now look at it, okay, you are done with this, and now he's sequencing, after sequencing, he's scoring. And then, let me tell you, no editor will ever rush job when you don't pressure them. It's true, most editors will abandon jobs and be doing another thing. That is a different case. But when an editor is on your job, allow your editor to do your job. You know, it's not about, okay, for instance, because of the machines we have available around here, so many editors, after doing, for instance, a 4K, 6K, 8K films, and then they tend to color grade. Let me now tell you why most editors do not color grade clip by clip. Because the best practice is to color grade after your cut. You color grade clip by clip. Because when you see two clips that do not match, you can be able to play with your color. There are times you can grade a particular picture, you will spend 1 hour in just one clip when you have thousands of clips to color grade, and you spend 1 hour, 2 hours trying to blend that clips, and you find out that you spend 2 hours doing one scene or 1 hour just because of that color. because you need to get what you because you need to get what you want. Don't forget you're still watching Global Magic TV. So after rushing and because of the time frame you've given them, and the time they tend to work and then so that they can be able to meet up with time, then afterwards there is nothing like color balancing. Some will use adjustment layer, lay it on top of the film and line it from beginning to end, and then run a little twist with one particular picture, and then they feel it is good in all the pictures. They export for you, you watch it, and then that is it. But when you give your editor space, he will run, if he gets his picture, he will run color balancing, color correction first before color grading. And then when he's running his color grading, experience have shown that cameras record noise naturally. So every camera has noise. Once you come to your color grading suit, and then after mixing color correctly and everything, you find out that you will always see that grain. You will always see that grain. And when you see that grain, you know what it means? The editor is supposed to denoise the picture. So many editors run away from denoising. Yes, because it's the fact. Because when you start denoising, I was telling someone I exported a film 21 days. The person was shouting, how much were you paid to run generator and light, and you keep exporting film for 21 days? But when you look at the picture, you can't stand it. You can't compare it. That is why so many people will say cinema. This one, my dear, there is nothing like cinema is a name. Give your film a touch. Give it that standard. It's a cinema. So far your story is cool, you shot well, and all that. That is why so many films you see in the cinema will take up to 6 months, some 1 year and thereabout before it comes out. Because all these things are put in place, which is proper filmmaking. And then after your work, you now go round, watch the film, rewatch the film, and then check if there is anything to correct, and then you call it a success. I hope I am able to highlight and give you some of the tips that you needed to know and be aware of in the course of film production. Still, thank you for watching, and my name is Daddy Esugo. I'm a filmmaker, and we are here on Global Magic TV to make you happy. If you're looking for the best place to watch Nollywood films with class, this is the proper place. Please don't forget, don't leave this channel except you go to our subscribe button below, click and subscribe, click the notification button so that you can get notification when we post movies on this channel. Please, if I will advise you rewatch this content and rewatch so that you can get the knowledge you need to make good films that stand out. Thank you.